Hello, welcome to the Canine Instructor Academy. My name is Robert Elaine and I am the founder and CEO of the Academy. I decided to make this video to give you a little bit of a background about the course, about myself and why I'm running it, and I hope that might give you some clarity as to whether or not this is the right course for you. So I thought I'd start with how I ended up here. Well, when I was a very young boy, when I was 12, my mother broke my heart by giving away our dog. And I understand now why she gave him away. He was very badly behaved, but I was 12, he was my best friend, and I couldn't understand it at the time, and I was absolutely devastated. And if I'm honest, I never really recovered from that. When I started running classes, which I started when I was 20, my goal was to hopefully create a situation where people would never have to go through that pain, where somebody would never have to get rid of their dog simply because they couldn't train it. So I've always wanted to try and be that bridge between the dog and the owner that says, actually, we can resolve this. We don't have to get rid of him. You don't have to let go of this dog that you love but simply can't live with. And that has always been my motivator, how to try and achieve that for owners. So I've now spent the last 40 plus years refining those skills and trying to get to a point where I can do the best job I can of ensuring that once you get that dog, he gets to stay with you. But I can't fix them all on my own. I tried, but it doesn't work very well. There's just too many people and too many dogs. So I came up with the strategy of running courses to teach other people how to teach, whether it's just learning for you with your own dog, whether it's helping clients, whether it's just helping friends and family, but something where that information could be passed on, and hopefully by as many people as possible, and that we really can kind of make a difference to the world of owners and dogs out there. So that was my ethos for starting the courses. So over those 40 years, I've looked at countless different types of training, styles of training. I've been able to use some, to modify some, to have to let some go and reject those. But it means I've spent decades refining what I do and being as good at this as I can possibly be. And I am, delighted with the results that I achieve for my clients, and they seem to be delighted too. So I want to be able to pass that information onto the next generation of people who are training dogs. So that's what the course is about, me imparting that information to you so that you can then offer the same levels of service. Something that sets this course apart from any other course that I know of is the amount of involvement you and I will have, bearing in mind this is an online course. So the way it works is right from the time you join the course, I ask you to submit a video so that everybody else who's on the course can get to learn a little bit about you. I want to try and create a community feel. So you'll submit a video just saying who you are, your background in dogs, and maybe what you're looking for from the course. And straight away when people start watching those, I see people developing kind of networks and relationships with people where they realize they've got things in common. And so it helps to create that kind of community feel, bearing in mind that it's an online course. And then each week, I will send you a series of videos. Each week they'll be different and they'll cover a variety of different subjects. So, what subjects are going to be covered on this course? Well, it's a behaviour course, so needless to say, I need to be able to provide you with the answers to how to fix many of the most common behavioural problems that you're likely to deal with, and some that a lot of courses will avoid. So we will talk about aggression, and obviously there are several different types of aggression, and we'll cover several of them. So aggression towards people, aggression towards other dogs. We'll also cover things like high prey drive and how to deal with dogs who want to run off and either just chase or maybe even kill other animals. We need to look at how to fix that because we know that predation on livestock is becoming an ever bigger problem. We're seeing dogs being banned from areas or having to be on leads because people don't know how to stop them from predating on other animals. So we'll cover that. We'll cover separation anxieties. And not just management, but actually how to change that dog so it no longer feels that anxiety. I see so many courses just give you management systems. Same with aggression, they just give you management systems. Well, just keep him on a lead, distract him. No, we can change that dog so he doesn't want to behave that way. So we'll cover that too. But we'll also look at things that aren't necessarily behaviour related per se. So we'll cover things like diet. Often people don't relate behaviour to diet, but put the dog on a wrong diet and that will affect its behaviour. It's no different to what happens with us. Put a kid who's sensitive on fizzy drinks, it'll be bouncing off the walls. And exactly the same sorts of things can happen with dogs. So we'll look at things like diet, we'll look at exercise, we'll look at neutering, whether or not that's going to help or hinder, what dogs you should neuter, what dogs maybe you shouldn't. So we'll go well into things that wouldn't necessarily be covered on lots of other behavioural courses, but I see training dogs as a very kind of holistic thing. You need to look at everything, not just he pulls on the lead, stop him from pulling. We have to look at why he's pulling, what motivates him to pull, what can we do to change his mind so he doesn't want to pull. So we'll cover lots of things that aren't necessarily obviously related to behaviour, but certainly all of those things that you would expect to find in a behaviour course. I'm going to teach you how to change the dog so it doesn't do them anymore, rather than how to change the owner so the owner manages the dog so the dog doesn't get the opportunity to cover those behaviours. That's not the same thing. I want to teach you how to teach the owner how to fix those behaviours so the owner doesn't have to worry about them anymore. But I'm lucky enough to not just have myself here, but I have several other people who also have become part of the CIA team. So I've got a couple named John and Claire Denyer who will do videos on how to set up your new business, how to manage that business. They also do one on social media. I've got another very good friend, a guy named Mark Callis, who is the Senior Animal Welfare Officer for Wandsworth Council, and he does a lot of talk about dog law and things you need to know both as a trainer, things your clients need to know as owners, and so he talks about the law. Then I have Adi de Corsi, who is an international lecturer on human psychology. He understands how to work with people and how can we really help dogs if we can't help their owners. So I thought it was really important to have somebody on the course who will teach you about people, including yourself. So he will cover extensively things like imposter syndrome, how to deal with anxious, nervous clients, how to deal with people who aren't feeling very confident, and he'll cover that side, which will help you to understand how to work better with the people. So I'm lucky enough to have this amazing team of people who will help me to help you. And each week we'll be submitting some of those videos. There are over 100 videos now on the course that will talk about how to get your client or yourself to where you need to be. So you'll receive some this week. You'll have the whole week to watch them. You can watch them entirely at your leisure. You don't have to, there's no timetable. You don't have to be there from 9 till 5 or any particular time. You can watch them whenever suits you. You don't even necessarily have to watch them, but they'll be there for you to watch. And they'll be of varying lengths and on various different subjects. So you can just watch the ones that you can. Then at the end of the week, we'll have a Zoom between myself and all of the attendees who are on the course. And we'll answer any questions and things that you may have over the week. That Zoom will normally last for 2 hours, and it's normally at 7 o'clock in the evening on the same day of every week, usually on a Friday. Any questions you have, any concerns you have about what you've seen over the week, or maybe not something that was over the week, but just something you want to ask, we have that dialogue. All throughout the week, there's a comment section where you can put up comments or post messages, so we can continue to dialogue all the way through the week, not just on the Friday when we do the Zoom, but at any point you can put up questions, you can contact other people on the course, you can have those dialogues all through the week. And then each week we repeat that process. So over the whole course, you'll have, as I say, over 100 videos that you can go back on over and over and over again over the 2 months that you're doing the course. So rather than a residential course where you just have that time to learn it and then you leave, you've got 2 months to keep going back over those videos again and again, and then asking any other questions that have come up over the times you've been watching them. You can just keep posting those until you really feel that you've got that subject as much as you possibly can. As well as that, at the end of the course, we'll have a Zoom with myself and all of the other experts. So again, if you've got some questions you particularly want to ask them and you want to ask them in a group setting, you can save that till the end of the course and then we'll all be sat together and you can go over those. But you will also be able to email the other experts throughout the course. So you'll have private email addresses for them that they've only given out to the people doing this course. So you can contact them anytime that you've got a particular issue that maybe you don't want to discuss in front of the whole group. You can message them directly and ask them the questions that you have. I don't know any other course that offers what I've just discussed, but it doesn't stop there. We also have a Canine Instructor Academy Facebook group, a private group only for people who've done this course. It's extremely interactive, and there's now over 100 people within the group. And it creates, again, a real kind of community feel where, having done the course, you can then post things, asking questions about particular issues that you're having or concerns that you're having. You can post about breeds that you're working with and ask if anyone else has had those breeds. So you continue that dialogue even once you've finished the course. There's no extra charge to become a member of that. There isn't a membership fee, and you can stay in it for as long as you want to be in it, years if you want to. So you also get that. Within that group, we also do periodical Zooms for the people within that group. And I invite you to write into me, email in with any subjects you want me to discuss. And then we spend another 2 hours periodically just discussing the things that you've written in and asked for us to discuss. As somebody who's done the course, you'll also be able to continually access me forever. Again, that doesn't end with the course. You can be contacting me by phone, email, texts for years. You get that unlimited contact, so that if 2 years from now some client throws you a curveball and you want to know how to address it, you can just get in touch and say, Rob, how do I do that? And we keep that going for as long as we need to, because for me, there's no point in starting you on this journey and then not continuing to help you go through it. What's the point in that? So you will continue to have access to me and my other experts who are also within the CIA Facebook group, so you can continue that dialogue until its conclusion, until you've gotten as far as you want to get. Again, I don't know anywhere else that offers such a service. So between the four of us and our decades of study and learning, it's a massive encyclopedic amount of knowledge that you will have access to tap into for as long as you need to, until you feel that you get to where you need to go. There's a lot of paperwork that I've produced for my clients, all of which you will have copies of. So literally the handouts that I give my clients, you will have a copy of. I do a behaviour consultation in one of the Zooms. You will get a copy of the report that I submitted to that client, so you can use it as a template for your own. So you've now got an idea of exactly how maybe you want to lay yours out. You will also receive a blank copy of my questionnaire, so that you can use that questionnaire as a template for the questions that you ask your clients. You're welcome to put it on your headed paper, and you can use it directly. It's not copyrighted, it's free for you to use. So you get all of that in addition, and you get the same stuff that I use. I want you to be able to go out and do this job. So I don't want you to have to start from scratch on anything. I want to have been able to get you started on whatever aspect it is that you're trying to learn, that there's something there that covers it. And you will get that within this course as well. I don't know any other course that offers what I'm offering, certainly not for the price that I'm offering it. And so I think that this is going to give you a really great start in that journey to become a professional behavioural trainer, behaviourist, whatever you want to call yourself. I don't know anywhere else that's going to give you that. So that's how the course works. And as I say, I think it's an incredibly informative course. Most people come out of it after that 2 months having had their brains fried. It's a lot of information that you can continue to go back over. But we're still not finished. What I then do is I leave all those videos available for you for a further 2 months, so that you will get 4 months to go over them again and again and recycle it and keep going over it until you really feel that you've got those things as much as possible. You will continue to ask me questions 3 months from now. Rob, I've just gone over that again and it's just created this question in my mind. Absolutely, you can still get back to me. And so you'll have 4 months to continue to take in all that information. At the end of each week, as I say, we'll have that Zoom. But if you haven't had time to watch the video, it doesn't matter. You can watch it over the next week and you can then ask me questions in the next Zoom. So you don't have that pressure, as you know, with some courses of, oh God, I've got to get this finished by so-and-so because we're having a test on Friday. Well, I don't do tests on this course. And the reason I don't do tests is because I know so many people who are really great trainers who just aren't very good at dealing with the stress of exams and tests. So they fall through the cracks. And that person who would have been brilliant now isn't offering that service because they get so stressed when they're being tested. So there are no tests on this course. I will give you all that knowledge as much as I possibly can, and then what you do with it is up to you. I'm not going to judge you on whether or not you're good enough. that's something for you to work out for yourself. At the end of the course, you will get a diploma in canine behaviour training. You will be able to use the post-nominals DIP CBT after your name. You will be able to have a downloadable copy of my logo so you can put it on your stationery and your headed paper or whatever to be able to say that you've done this course. So if people ask you what qualification you have, you'll be able to say, I have a diploma in canine behaviour training. Well, hopefully that's given you enough to answer any questions that you may have. But of course, if you have any others, please feel to get in touch with me, and hopefully I'll see you on a future course. Thank you. Have a good day.